And welcome to the tutorial for the new Cinema 4D Grass Kit version 4. This Grass Kit, as you can see, is for Cinema 4D version 20 and more, and let's get into it right away. So first of all, when you download Grass Kit, you will download the zip file, and when you unzip it, you will receive the Grass Kit lib4d file. Also, you will receive a short readme that explains what you should do, for example, where you should copy what. And also you will receive the latest version at this moment of the container object plugin from Niklas Rosenstein. I hope I pronounced this good. And this is really good plugin that you can find latest version on his website. But here I included the latest version at this moment, 1.3 for Mac and Windows. So in README, you will see you should copy the container object plugin into plugins folder and lib4d file in your Cinema 4D library browser folder. Same like in previous versions. So let's make this video short. So we go straight to Cinema 4D and I will show you how to use it. Here I have a test scene that I prepared, and when you open Cinema 4D, you can open a content browser, and inside it you will see Grass Kit folder, and inside this time you will receive all three versions for three different renders in one archive, or I don't know. So you can choose, do you want to use Corona version, physical render version, or Vray. What's important in this is to say that this time Grass Kit generates grass blades and everything independently of the render engine. So you can use any render engine you want, you will just need to change the materials. Just to remove unused. And if you use, for example, Redshift, you can create new Redshift material and just drag I think with Alt, and replace them like this with the new ones. And Grass Kit will work with any render, hopefully. I didn't have a chance to test it with Redshift, but as soon as I change my graphic card, I'm going to do that. And now let's get into it. Let's see what's new. So first thing that you will notice, let's go to the Grass Kit here. Now this time, again, we have wild grass, lawn grass. This is the lawn grass. We have tall, dry grass. This is the one. We have some daisies as a flowers, but you can choose any kind of object you want. And we again have three scatter objects that you can use to scatter around different stuff like stones, trees, or whatever you want. So you can choose your object, choose surface, and scatter them around, and using noise to define where you want to see them or not. And let's go back to the grass and what's new. First thing that is new, let's go to display and to see wireframes. You will notice that the grass blades now, they are not generated with a fur or anything like that. Actually, they are real geometry. So you have many more adjustments that you can do on this grass. For example, of course, you can change the blade length. Let's put 50. You can change length subdivisions. This time now it's 12. You can put like 5 or as much as you want. You can put even 1, I think. Yes. Or you can go up to as much as you want, but let's put like 16. And you can also change the blade width this time, so we can put like 5 centimeters, and you see that we get some funky looking grass. And you can also this time change width subdivision. So now this is on 1. If you put like 6, you will see you have much more polygons and much more precise grass. And we can put it back to 1, it's enough for this test. You can change the length bending. Now it's on 90 degrees. If you put it on 180, it will go totally down. If you put it just for like 20, it will be almost straight. And you can also change this time, what's interesting, you can change bending of the profile of the grass, so it's width bending. If you put to 0, it will be straight. If you put like to 180, it will make like a circle, like it will make 3D grass, or I don't know how to explain, but if you add subdivisions, like 8, you will see that now the grass is totally around. You can go into minus like 45 and bend it on different side, or you understand basically what I'm trying to explain here. And we go back to 1. Of course, you have number of blades. You can put it to, this is the number of blades per patch, and the base radius of the patch. So base radius, if you put to 60, it will be bigger, 10, it will be smaller. And random blade height now is 0.5. You put it to 0, they will be same, or if you put 1, they will be totally from 0 to okay, we can put it to 0.3, for example. So you can also scroll this, like, to see interactively what happens. And let's go back to 30, and let's go back to 100 blades. And this is a little bit too much, 5. Let's put it to 2. Okay, we can keep it like that for now. It's not really. Okay, we can make a little bit more bending, like 60 degrees, because this is like wild tall grass, so it goes down. All these settings that I show you for this one, they go same. The same goes for the long grass, tall dry grass, as you can see. So you can play with it as you like. And to go back on one other important thing, so if you go here and you put blade width, for example, on 10 centimeters, I changed the wrong one, but okay, we can play with this one anyway. So now we are on tall dry grass, we put the blade width on 10 or even 20, or doesn't matter, you can get some crazy results here. You can change width subdivision to 3 or even more, 8, and we get some funny looking leaves that are bended on this way. If you want to change on different things, you can put minus 90 and you will get them bending on inside. And as something very new that is just added in this version, it's that you can just change the blade profile. For example, now we can play with this line here, and you can do this with all of them, like long grass, wild grass. You can choose different blade profiles. You can create some really weird looking things, like maybe this, if you need it for anything. And we can do with bending to 0 or 30 degrees, they will bend down. Or you can, anyway, you can play with these profiles, so you can get the results that you want. You can even add new points with control click, and you can get something really strange looking. For example, like this, if you need it for something. And again, I want to say that you can use these profiles to do whatever you want with any of the grass patches. So now, what else? So when we choose the kind of grass we want, next thing is to go to, let's try now, for example, to put the grass on this field here. You can change display to quick shading, and now let's put, for example, just wild grass. We'll choose the surface, that's the ground, and enable clones. And now, considering that this grass kit uses the new multi-instance in Cinema 4D, things are getting really fast now. So no matter how many clones, okay, now for example we have just 300 clones, but if you put like 3000 of them, as you can see, there is no lagging, things still go really smooth. If you go to 30,000 clones, now we need a few seconds that will draw it. No, it's a little bit cutting, but it's still quite smooth. And these colors that you see, this is the noise that generates different shades of green. So now I'll just remove one, not duplicate, function, remove unused materials. So like in the wild grass, if you go to the material that I make here, you can change, you can do whatever you want with that, you can make your own material. But here I use the colorizer to color the grass differently, randomly. And this is driven by a noise effector. And it will generate different shades of green grass everywhere. But you can change the material to your own liking and get different effects. If you want to have a pink grass or whatever, you can just change the color, or you want your own texture, you go into this bitmap and you change the bitmap and you use some different one, etc. So now we can see, to go back to multi-instances, they are really fast, and you can see now we have here 30,000 of these clones, but to make it even faster we can change to point view, and now like you can see it's like there is not one of them, even there is 30,000 of them. So we can go back to, just for the sake of speed of rendering, to 500, or not 50 but 500, and we can do one quick region render, for example, like this. Let's see the time. As you can see, exporting is quite fast. It needed like 7 seconds, 8 seconds to start rendering, and you can already see the results. Maybe I could speed it up with adjusting a little bit more the render settings of Vray, but all this what I'm showing, it's same for Vray, for Corona, for physical render. Probably it will be the same for any other render if you just change the materials. So this is now with progressive render. You can see that there is different shades of colors of green, and so it adds to realism of the grass that is rendered. So let's stop this. Okay, let's say this is that wild grass what we want, and there is one thing that everybody complained since I started to do this, and with the big right, it's that the grass. Let's go back to you can also use the bounding box mode, so you can see approximately the size of the grass patches, how much they will take. But I prefer this matrix mode, I don't know. So if you go this, you will see that the grass, the patch that is here, it goes over the number 4. And this is something I couldn't solve before, but thanks to the Maxon and the new Cinema 4D R20, now we can adjust that with the help of Deflector object here, and I will show you how to do it. So you see the grass goes through number 4. Before, you should use the polygon selection, and you can still use polygon selection, you can see it here, but there is much faster and easier way. So let's go to it. So now just a moment, that Cinema 4D recover. So we need the object that is, okay, this is number 4. Let's rename it, just that we don't need to search for it later. If we go to grass kit and we go to Deflector, here I write short note to how to use this Deflector, but I'm sure people will find many other different ways to use it. For now, let's follow this. So you can drag and drop the field below objects that you wish to deflect the grass. Your objects should be above fixed layer, so not below but above. And let's drag and drop this number 4 above this and use it as point object. And now don't forget to check this. It happened to me like 3 times. I always forget to check this in, so check this, and then the deflector will be working. And when you click on this, you need to choose what kind of mode you want. So in this case we use surface, and you already see what happened. These few cubes disappeared. So as we make this bigger, the cubes are starting to disappear more and more. And they are so the patches are getting smaller and smaller. On the distance of 44 centimeters, they are starting towards the zero to get smaller and smaller. And if you want them to stop at this point here, so that they don't get smaller towards the zero, you need to go, I write it here, in remapping tab, that's remapping, and this inner offset, put it to 100. Okay, let's add a little bit more of clones so you can see better what I'm trying to show, like 5,000 of them. You can see now much better. So now they are disappearing, and if we go to Deflector and we change inner offset, they will start to show up little by little, or they will be sharp. Also in the object, in the layer, you can choose the distance on which one they should stop to exist. So if you put it somewhere, let's try just like 25 centimeters and do one quick render region here. Okay, now we have a little bit more of them, so it will take a little bit more time to prepare it for rendering, for Cinema 4D to export it. Okay, it was not so much, it was like preparation 12 seconds. Let's see now exporting of all of them. Around 30 seconds maybe. Actually, with physical render, it starts to render a little bit faster than with Vray. With Corona, it's even faster, so I'm using here this version. Anyway, so it was around 1 minute to prepare. That's not so bad. And we are still waiting. Okay, finally. 1 minute and 20 seconds. So you can see now that there is no grass on number 4. That's quite self-explanatory. We don't need to wait this now to render. Let's go back. Give Cinema 4D a little bit time to recover from the Vray rendering. And then I will show you another thing that you can do with the deflector. So it's not just that you can use the objects or MoGraph. You don't need even to convert them to make them editable or anything. But as you can see, it's quite fast still, the viewport. So the interesting thing that you can use splines also. So you can use, like, let's use the rectangle, just the simplest one, and let's put it in XZ axis. Okay, you can put it here just for illustration. And now if we go back to Grass Kit and we drag this rectangle here above, we will get some new things here. So now in this, you can play with this on your own, but you will see what I'm trying to explain. So we can use it as a mask, and we can change this along y-axis, I think, yes. And now as we move this rectangle, you see grass will start to disappear. So you can draw your own shape. For example, if you have a road or whatever, or you already used something, and you can draw the shape as you like, and as you move it around, it will be dynamic. You will see where you will not have, where you will have the grass. And once you adjust it here on this deflector, it works at the same time for all of the grass here that you see. So it will cut the wild grass, lawn grass, tall grass. It will cut the flowers, so it will stop all of the grass kit generators, even scatters, to scatter on that surface. So that will be empty. So now if we, okay, let's go to show that. If we go to this wild grass and put it back to, again, for the sake of speed of preparation of rendering, to 200, and we decided to add tall dry grass, enable clones, choose surface, ground. Just to see it differently, we can put them to points, and as you can see, okay, to dry grass, put into points, and we can move this rectangle around. I put it here. In just a moment that I go back to matrix. So you can see that there is nothing inside this. If we put this to do the quick render, let's go to render region. Let's render this. We will notice that, I hope, that there is no S. So there is no wild grass. There is nothing in this square here. And yes, this is interesting. Now, for example, you may notice that as I added that rectangle, that now again we have grass on number 4. So it's important, just a moment, that we see. Yes, there is grass passing through number 4. Why? Because in Deflector we need to say that this is added to this. So I think if we put add, that will work. Let's try. Or maybe minimum or maximum, I forgot honestly. But you can play with all this. Yes, so when we put add, now the rectangle and number 4 are not inside the grass. We can add like that, this word grass kit or whatever we want. So you can see this is the other grass, this is the leaves. Again, for this you can change the textures or play with the materials. So that's it for these deflector objects, and I think that's it for this basic tutorial. I think in this way you can learn how to set up some stuff, basic stuff. If you need any help, you can contact me on, if you go to GrassKit here on info, you have here my store and my email. So if you need anything, you can contact. For the flowers and for the scatters, I think there is no need to explain too much, so I will just show you. For example, for the flowers, like if you can just choose the surface and enable clones, and you can see them here now. I put it to bounding box, so they are a little bit bigger, so you can see them. You put like 500 of clones and use different seed. Each one will be flowers, and you can use here shader. For example, I used noise to put them randomly around, but you can use shader of your own liking. And let's do some quick render region. The best thing about this new GrassKit is that it's based on multi-instances. It can work very fast no matter how much clones you have in the viewport. The second best thing is this deflector, that you can avoid the surfaces or objects or splines or whatever you want. So you can see here now we have these flowers randomly scattered. And I think also the render time will be faster. And third thing, with buying one, you will get all 3 versions. So again, in your content browser, you will get all 3 of them. This, for example, if you use Redshift or Arnold or some other render, you can use physical render GrassKit, and make new material. For example, now create new, I don't know even what material I have, but you create new material for your render. Let's say like this, double click, and just with Alt and you drag it on the wild grass. That will be the new material for the wild grass, and it will work with that render engine. Okay, I think that's it for this grass kit version 4. I hope I said everything. I wish you all the best and have a fast renders. Bye.